surrounding yourself with other people in the business, getting yourself to the events, and even when we, can hang out just with each other, even if it's just in a casual setting, how powerful that is. Because you are who you hang out with, and when you can surround yourself with other people who have a common passion, while sure, of course, we talked business. We even spent like 4 hours at corporate, and they put us to work over there. But just being with other people who are positive is so good. And also just to be with other people who are like you and to know, because we work in our houses, right? And so we're not all, I know many of us chat all day long, but it's just so good to know that you're not alone and where you do struggle in the business. And when you do hit bumps, and sometimes, especially like as I get higher up in leadership, it's just like sometimes you feel like, oh my gosh, am I the only one who's struggling with this or having these failures? And, it's good to know, because we don't, Beachbody obviously doesn't highlight the rank drops and failures and stuff, right? Like we don't talk about that. So sometimes when it happens to you, you start to think, well, there must be something wrong with me. And you learn that's couldn't be farther from the truth. We all have our ups and downs and our hardships in the business. We just keep going. So I was just looking at the tracker. A few of you, I think most of you, Robin, make sure you update the tracker. I know it's a holiday season, but and I'm sure, Robin, I know you've been inviting and stuff. So just go back and fill it in the best you can. I know you're doing your stuff. You talk in our Operation Duplication thread all the time. I know you're posting.
Okay.
So I know you're showing up. I know it's the holidays, and it's crazy. It is for me too. I actually, I tell you guys this every week. I feel like I need to go update my tracker in my group for Saturday and Sunday too. I'm behind a couple of days, but I have done it. But I just want to, first of all, thank you guys for sticking with it during this time, because it is a busy time, right? And so if you want to be a business builder, you got to act like a business builder. And one of the things like my mentor, Josh, that we've been working with had said recently was like, our kids get 2 weeks off at Christmas, and we used to get that when we were growing up, but we don't necessarily get that as adults anymore, right? And we do have a business to run, so we can't just completely disappear for 2 weeks. Can we do a little bit less? Yes, but we still have to show up, and do the basics. But keeping that momentum going right now is just so important. I want to encourage y'all not to let the momentum die. Like if we stop this group, I'll probably do another round come the new year. I think this will be like our last week of meetings, actually, because next weekend I start family festivities, and I'm sure y'all do too. We're right before Christmas. So we'll probably pick back up again in January. And whether you join back up with this group or not, I just want to encourage you, don't stop these activities, because it is hard. Once you get the momentum going and then you stop, it's hard to get that pedaling back again. I was with a girl over the weekend. Very successful coach in the business. She still makes really good money just where she's placed. But she hasn't done a whole lot in the business. And it was surprising to talk with her, because I would have never thought. She's like, I really just haven't done that much with the business in 2 years. Luckily, where she's placed, she's still doing great. But she's struggling with getting going again. And of course, she's seen some dips, right? But it's like getting back on that bike and finding that momentum again and that drive. And like, where do I start again? It does feel tough. And so y'all keep that going. And that happens by, whether it's accountability in this group or finding something to plug into to help continue helping you grow. Because growth is not just something that we get to, it's something that's continuous. We have to continually be growing and raising our lid. I'm always trying to put myself in some sort of environment that's pushing me. If you're always surrounding yourself with people that you're like the top person in that group, like you're ahead of everybody else. I know that sounds weird. You know what I'm saying? Like if you want to surround yourself with people who are further ahead than you are, is what I'm trying to say. Because if you're the smartest person in the room or the most successful person in the room, then you're not growing. So I'm always trying to put myself in those situations. And is it uncomfortable? Heck yes. When I get on those Monday masterminds, some of those coaches, Most of them, I mean, it's crazy, some of the things they've achieved. And I'm not at all of their level. And it's uncomfortable sometimes when it's time for me to speak and share something I'm doing. I'm like, oh my gosh, like, am I really able to add value? But it does push me to grow and to do better and to be a better leader. So I want to encourage you guys to do the same thing. Same thing, like if you have a success partner, reach up, find someone who's just like kicking butt, that isn't going to pull you down and slow your momentum. You want someone that's going to challenge you to be like, dang, if they're doing that, like, I got to keep up. I want to do that too. I want to surpass that. So think about that if you are looking for some kind of success partner in the business that you can work with. All right. So let's see. Y'all, it's so funny. I actually, so when I was practicing or writing notes for this, I was in the car and I didn't have anything to write on, and it's written on the back of receipts. We were on the way to the Christmas pageant, and I'm like, I need something to write on. So that's what I got. So this is how I roll, y'all. All right. So let's talk about, and I'm going to do my best to reiterate something I was learning. And so this is good practice for me because I'm actually going to do a team call on this at the new year. So you guys are getting in on this early. But we all have coaches that we've worked with or you're going to work with that have told you they're going to do all these great things, right? How many times have we heard from coaches like, I'm going to get to Emerald next week. I'm going to go Diamond. I'm going to make 6 figures. And it's like, yes, they're going to do all this stuff. And then they never talk to you again. They disappear. I literally have coaches, they're still on my downline. They're even active, haven't returned a message from me in over a year. Yeah. So, I mean, and I know you probably have that too. And sometimes we can start to feel like, oh man, they just not like me. But I can't put that on me. Like, I've reached out throughout the year several times. It's not up to me to decide like for her to be successful or not. I'm there for her when she's ready. But my point is, we can't, we're going to try to question ourselves like, well, what is wrong with this person? Or what is wrong with me? What am I not doing right? And those are questions that are, they're not positive questions that you should be asking yourself. Those are destructive questions. Okay. So don't look at it that way. And those are questions that are going to hurt your belief in humanity and what other people, your belief in other people, and also belief in yourself. And we have to have that belief in this business. Oh my goodness. That to me, belief is, it just all stems from there. Everything stems from belief. It drives your actions. It drives your results. It drives if you're going to show up at all. It drives what other people believe about you in the business. It drives the way you come across. Does that make sense? Like when you talk to somebody else, if you don't have belief in what you're doing, what you stand for, they're going to hear that. They're going to feel it. So, yeah, that's something you just got to be careful about. It's not asking yourself those questions. And instead, we're going to talk about different types of personalities. Now, if you've been around our team long enough, you know we've talked about emeralds, pearls, sapphires, and rubies. So this is kind of similar, but a little bit different. Then we're going to talk more about animals, okay? So think about, as I'm talking about these, where you might fall. And then you also want to think about using this to help identify the different personalities of the coaches that you're working with. So there are 2 different types of people. There are task-oriented people, and then your people-oriented people, okay? And then the other piece of the personality is people who have reserved energy and outgoing energy, okay? So you're going to have both of you're going to have 2 things that help describe your personality. So either you're task-oriented and people-oriented, and either your reserved energy or outgoing energy. And put those 2 things together. So your people, like when they go into a party, it's like, who am I going to meet? Who am I going to talk to? You know, they just want to build relationships, and they're really excited about that. More task-oriented people, when they go into a party, it's like, okay, you know, who do I need to talk to tonight, and how long am I going to have to stay here? When am I going to go home because I got stuff to do? Like they go in there with like an agenda, and then they're done. Like they know what they're there for, and then they want to get out. Then you've got your outgoing energy people. they are, they're talking with their hands, they're super excited, they talk loud, and then you've got your reserved energy people who are more like this. They talk kind of more quiet, they're very calm when they talk. Now we all have, okay, first of all, if you're outgoing and task, so outgoing energy and a task-oriented person, you are a rhino. Okay, and I'll go more into the descriptions of these animals in a minute. So task and outgoing energy, rhino. If you're outgoing energy and you're a people person, you're a peacock. Okay, outgoing and people person is a peacock. Now, so peacock would be like equivalent to what we've always called a sapphire. Okay, reserved personality, like more quiet, and then your people is a golden retriever. That's like your pearl that we've talked about before. And then your reserved personality and your task-oriented people. So they're more calm, and they're very big on tasks and checklists and stuff. That is an owl personality, okay? So here's the thing, 70 to 80% of people are your people type of personalities, not so much the task. And so we have to keep that in mind when it comes to leading our teams, that people want to feel part of a community. They want to feel needed and valued, because most people are people. Now, I would say when it comes to the business and us wanting to reach goals, and maybe you've got a goal in mind and you're like, oh my gosh, I need to push for this. Sometimes we can start to, I think, get away from what? Okay, thank you. I think we can start to drift away sometimes from remembering, like, people want to feel part of the community and feel valued and not pushed for numbers, right? And something that's very important to remember when, like, you're talking to your team, or maybe you're doing a team call, is talking about the why before the what. Like, why are we doing this? Why are we reaching for 15 star? Why are we wanting to hit Success Club every single month? Why does that matter? And so versus just always focusing on the numbers and the what. Because if you always focus on just the numbers and the what you need to be doing versus remembering to pull out the purpose and the why behind it, I mean, that is going to run off your golden retrievers, right? And probably your peacocks as well. Definitely those golden retrievers. They've got to know the purpose for why they're showing up. So maybe you're reaching out to a coach to help them. Maybe you've noticed, hey, they're trying to hit Success Club, or they have 2 points on the board or 4 points on the board. And so bringing them back to why they're doing this versus pushing them to hit numbers. So we're not just inviting for Success Club points, but because I know how much you wanted to save up for XYZ. Let's keep working towards that, girl. We're going to get you there. Keep showing up. So it is very important that you have some kind of way to keep record of what your coach's goals are. When I get on a Getting Started Right call, I try to write down, what's important to them, what's driving them. And it's hard sometimes to get that out of a brand new coach, right? Because they don't really necessarily know. But do your best to get that out. And I do the About Me form that's in that new coach checklist. So I have a lot of that in that Excel sheet. So if I need to reach back out to a coach who I know is slipping, but I know wanted to continue showing up, I can remind them of what their purpose is and why they're here. So another thing about pearls, not pearls, I keep reverting back to that, about your golden retrievers, for example, is they're always worried about what other people think. They're worried about offending people. And so we have to remind them that, think about the person who's sitting on the couch, who's miserable, has no confidence, and they need someone to reach out to them, and you're afraid to invite them because of what they're going to think about you. No, Like you don't want to hold someone else's future captive in your mouth because of your own fears of rejection. So just reminding them of that mission. And what will happen if they do reach out versus what they don't, if they don't. Okay, so a little bit bigger description here in the different personalities. The rhinos, very performance driven. They get things done. They're workers. It's more like, hey, join me or get out of the way because I'm still going. Probably equivalent to like our rubies that we've talked about. They want attention. They want recognition. They like to be in the spotlight, whether it is positive spotlight or negative spotlight. They can sometimes be the drama queens because they like that attention being put on them. That's your rhinos. The peacocks, the positive things are they do well with social media. They're really good with that. They're really good with talking to people and bringing that energy. Their weakness is they don't really like having a tracker and tracking their business. They're kind of all over the place. And I don't love having a tracker personally, but it has helped me be more focused. So I've learned to be more that way. Golden Retriever. These are very supportive people. They're very loyal. They will probably be faithful to wearing that Beachbody hat, till the day they die. They are very faithful to the community. They're good listeners. But sometimes they're such good listeners that they struggle with also challenging people to do more. Does that make sense? So they're afraid to push people. I don't like the word push, but you know what I mean? They're afraid to encourage people because maybe they're afraid they're going to feel like they're pushing them. Does that make sense? So that's something to keep in mind as a golden retriever, because they're always afraid of offending someone, but they've got to learn how to still challenge people to do their best and do more. And then of course the owl, these are, they love their checklists. They're really good with that. They're probably going to be the ones who are correcting your grammar and drives them nuts. Like Greg, oh my gosh, I don't care if my grammar's wrong in my posts. I do, but it's not like the end of the world. I don't proofread everything as well as I probably should. But man, Greg will pick it up like that. Like, hey, you need to edit the post because that one sentence did not make sense. So he's very owl in a lot of ways, and then there's some ways he's not. But owls have to just, be careful about the way they say things and word things with people. But they are they're your get it done. They like checklist type of people. All right. Any questions for me on any of that? All right. So just keep in mind, while you are working with your coaches, try to figure out which type of personality they are. And for example, if it's someone who is an owl and maybe you're not an owl, like I'm not an owl, but I have learned how to give tools to my coaches who are. I've got coaches that they want to know exactly how to do something. In fact, let me go back to the owl for a minute. One of their faults is that they want a system for everything. And sometimes with entrepreneurship, not every day is the same. We're working with people, right? So there's not necessarily a perfect system with how you should enroll each person or what they should be enrolled with or how you should handle every situation. That's just not possible to know all of that. So being a little flexible, they don't like to necessarily go with the flow. That's not their type of personality. But if you're working with an owl, you can do your best to give them checklists to help them. Your rhinos, they just are going to go, right? And you're going to think that, hey, they got it all figured out. They're good and they're going to run. And that's good. But we have to remember to check on them from time to time. They don't need you checking on them regularly like you might the peacocks and the golden retrievers. But sometimes we can get to where we think that they're good, they're golden, but they're going to be the people that also don't want to tell you when they're struggling. So don't forget about them. Make sure that you are still checking on them from time to time, but they don't necessarily need you to be like, hey, I need you to send my tracker every week, because they're probably doing it. But they still need that encouragement. I found that with some rhinos I have. on my team. It's like I think that they're good, and then they don't need me checking on them, and then it's like all of a sudden they're struggling, and oh my gosh, I got to remember to reach out to that person and just encourage them, because I think that they're great. You know what I mean? So okay. Hopefully that helps just get you thinking about different ways to serve your team. Let's go through real quick and just share on a scale of 1 to 10, how'd you do with the tracker, and what can I help you with? Robin, you want to start tonight, girl? It's okay? I'll unmute you.
Okay, there we go. So obviously actually checking off the tracker, not well. However, in my own personal tracking system, good.
Okay.
So my husband was in finals like the last 2 weeks, so it's just a lot of extra for me. So I was really there, but we're leaving for a trip, so I have been following up and messaging like crazy, because I'm at Success Club 8, I think, and I want to be 10. I wanted to be 10 by yesterday, but I'm going to give myself another 5 days. So pretty good. Always room for improvement. I think I'm the type that I like systems.
Mm-hmm.
I like systems. And then I'm like, yeah, it's hard to keep up with it all. Organization is something I continuously work on.
So
but
which two animals do you think that you are?
Yeah, I think I'm a confusing one with Danny Johnson. I legit was even within 1 point of Sapphire, Ruby, and somehow Emerald.
Yeah, so you're very, in fact, that was one of the things that Josh was talking about, is he said some of the best coaches he's worked with are actually kind of like the opposing, like they've got all of that, which is a good thing.
Yeah. It's confusing though, because when they put, certain things I'm very Emerald about, and then other things I'm like, no, I do not identify with that at all. So, and I have a little bit of Pearl. I do find that I don't want to offend people, but I also am not worried about confrontation.
Okay.
Here's my water. I didn't have time to get it in a smaller bottle.
I love it. All right. Do you need help with anything?
Not necessarily. I have, I'm going on a cruise, so I think I'm going to not have internet. So I'm going to try to get my post up. I have one person with the, I always say it wrong, diastasis recti.
Yeah, I saw that.
So, you just tell them use the modifier.
Yeah, I really don't see why you couldn't do T20. How bad is their diastasis?
Well, I think it's a little bit more than, I know Julie's is pretty small. Yeah. So she was very concerned. She goes to PT regularly for it. And then she also was like, do you think since you do the workouts earlier, you could check out the workout for me and then tell me modifications every day? And I was like, oh.
I think that they can follow the modifier just
okay.
And then maybe the sit-up part, because you're not only supposed to do sit-ups with that, right?
Right.
Can I jump in?
Yeah, please.
Sorry. Okay, so it kind of depends on maybe how wide it is, but I'm a PT too. So have her definitely talk with her therapist, because then the therapist hopefully will at least give her some baseline stuff. And I think the biggest thing is especially with crunches, she wouldn't want to do early on those big sit-ups or the lying on your back, flutter kicks or anything like that. She's going to have to shorten it up and do marching or something like that in place of it. But if she's already in PT, have her really encourage her to talk with her therapist and see kind of where she's at with that. And they can probably give her some modifications too. I do that as a PT, but they would be, the first-hand source for her.
Okay. So would you say, what questions would you say to have her ask her PT person about, hey, I'm starting this new program. It's 20 minutes. It's using a step. I'm planning on following the modifier for the planks and the ab sit-ups and push-ups.
Yeah, how would I modify planks, and how would I, or if they want her to do planks right now, and how to modify the sit-ups. So I would teach her like instead of a flutter kick, I'd have her on her back and doing like marching. So lying on your back, tummy in, and march in place. So the legs are shorter, so you don't have as much strain on your back because she's not going to have as much support. So if she's like
marching,
yeah, close. Yeah, and like get on the floor here. So do you want me to get on the floor and show you? Because I will.
I mean, fast, yeah, because I know everybody else has questions, but sure.
Yeah, I mean, like so you're on your back and your toes actually tap the floor. Let's just talk about it.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, you're marching in place. So I mean, what you just did with the feet never touching the floor is a progression, and then you can go from there to the legs fully straight, right?
Okay.
So that's just like if you shorten the lever, you can make it easier. So she can do, and I do that a lot because I have a small one, so I'm careful with that if I feel like my back's arching or anything like that. But yeah, so ask about crunches. How can I modify? And she probably, honestly, I hope if her therapist is doing a good job, knows it. She just doesn't realize she knows it. But crunches would be the big thing, sit-ups. I don't think anything in planks. Planks would be, depending on what's going on, like how big her separation is. And I'm trying to think if there's anything else, but I don't think anything from like squats or anything like that would be any
okay. That's what
I'm
telling her, just basically modified plank, push-up, sit-up,
yep.
ask your PT, and see what they want you to do, and when the workout's doing it, do what your PT person says. And
yeah okay. Exactly, that's what I would do.
Okay, perfect. I just want to make sure
that helps.
Worst case scenario, if she gets going and she's like, this is not working, there's hundreds of other workouts on there she could do. I mean, what do you think is great for PT? I mean, for diastasis recti, Elizabeth? Like,
say which program?
Yeah, which ones do you think are best for that?
I mean, I think you could do most any of them. It just depends on how you modify them, honestly. But I mean, ones that don't have you on the floor the whole time. Like I wouldn't jump in a 21-day fix extreme or anything like that. Thinking like all the Pilates moves she does. I feel like I've struggled with those. I mean, but some of those could be good too, but it's more advanced. But let's think the core to force would be totally fine. You'd have to modify with even lift 4. I mean, I did T25. Yeah. I did all those.
I have a girl that a few years ago that had really bad DR, and she did T25, and it was great for her.
Yeah, he doesn't do a lot of just straightforward abs. I mean, it's a little bit more variety.
Because finances, she's definitely she said the word penny pincher, and I'm like, she actually years ago posted, I do not need any beach body to help me get fit. And I was just being friends with her, and now I'm excited that she wants to do it. But I'm like, would you say that Transform 20, I know you haven't done the program, but Kristen, y'all, I know you have, would that be a good fit for her?
Yeah, I mean, besides like the flutter kicks and the crunches, it's possible. But there are some planks. I mean, I just think it just depends on what her PT person will let her do.
Okay, because she's postpartum, and she'll get the okay from her doctor January 7th.
Okay, so she's pretty new, Pass.
Mm-hmm, and she didn't exercise during pregnancy because she was so sick.
Okay.
So of course, I'm like, yes, let's do Transform 20. That sounds great because it's beneficial, but I really do want to make sure that I'm not pointing her in a direction that's not good. So what would y'all do?
What would you say, Elizabeth?
I mean, you definitely know like what's ahead for us, but I don't know. I might be a little bit worried about like jumping into a lot of planks and stuff, but and I personally did like 21-day fix for a few rounds before I jumped into T25. So I really encourage a lot of women to start with a program like that, just to kind of get some basic moves under their belt and get going and get some baseline strength before they start moving quick and jumping around.
Yeah. I love 21 Day Fix for right after baby.
Yeah, it's not as quick and crazy, and
that's what I started with. And just not do the ab stuff as much.
Okay.
I'm also like a freak though, and probably broke all the rules when it comes to after baby.
And I'm somewhere in between.
So would you say if her, like, ask her about like whether or not, and Kristen, there are a lot of planks in the whole program?
No, I mean, there's just some times when I'm doing like burpees. Okay. So you get in a plank position with that. I'm doing, you go down with a burpee and then you walk in a plank position, up on the step, back to the other side, back up on the step, so you're walking planks. So there is a bunch of that. Not a ton of sit-ups. But there are some of the transformers or flutter type kicks, or you're sitting up and doing like this, kind of bouncing on your butt, moving your legs in a bicycle motion. It's very difficult. So, I mean, she'd have to modify those types of things. But there is a modifier, I honestly didn't pay a whole lot of attention to the modifier, but she's not using a bench. So, I mean, I think she could make it work.
Okay.
I think anybody can make anything work. But maybe send her 21 Day Fix, the link to that video, and just let her look at both of them and let her decide. If I have a hard time narrowing down, because that person knows what they can do and not do. So sometimes okay, I mean, I think you could do T20, you could follow the modifier, but I want you to look at this one too, because this one's also great for moms after baby. And I want you to decide like which one you feel more comfortable with. You're going to get Beachbody On Demand, so you're going to get all these anyway.
Okay. Is there a third option y'all would suggest, or just those two?
Maybe Core de Force.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's a good one.
Thank you.
All right. Elizabeth, scale of 1 to 10.
It was a rough week for me. I think I was fighting off a cold or something. I was not feeling myself like half the week. I'd probably say overall 6, maybe pushing a 7. I think I didn't get very many connects. I didn't track them very well. So I'm pretty sure I didn't get a full 10 each day, but I got something each day. And I may have missed one day on invites. I believe I didn't get Friday. We ended up doing some fun stuff, family stuff, and it kind of got pushed to the side. I did not catch up Saturday because more busy day. But so I think that was the only day I missed on invites. Lots of follow-ups from people that I chatted with the week before. I have 3 people, so technically I'm at SC4, but should be if someone would just sign up SC6, and that would have reached my goal for Friday. I think it was the 15th. I wanted to be SC6. So
are you going
to sign up? We're good. What was that?
Are you going to be able to get cash for Summit? Is this your 3rd month?
No, I missed a month by one person.
What month?
Yeah, I think it was
October, November, December.
I think it was October. It was October.
Oh, okay.
I think I missed October, like by the skin of my teeth.
I'll have to look back. All right.
Yeah.
But you're doing good. That's awesome.
Yeah.
You get that
right.
Oh,
well.
Keep in mind.
So, yeah.
Christmas, too. I mean, right after Christmas, like a lot of people kind of wake up to like, oh, New Year's resolution. I just ate too much stuff over Christmas. They're ready to order then as well.
Yeah. I've got a few people that have told me, like, because of how they get paid like once a month. They're teachers for the state. And they're like, I can't do anything until after Christmas. Like, they don't get paid until their last work day. I don't even know how people get paid once a month.
Yeah.
That's got to be hard. So we have a couple people, and then I've got a whole list of people that said, talk to me in January. So that's good.
Yeah.
So,
good.
Yeah. So hopefully a little bit more on task with the post this week. I was a little off of my posts for the week, but I got something in each day.
Okay. Anything you need help with?
I can't think of anything right now. I'm sure there will be something. Oh, my coach that had signed up told me she has someone who wants to sign up as a coach.
Oh, Which one?
So
Your brand, like your other brand new one?
yeah, well, the brand new one, Katarina, that you had reached out to as well.
Okay.
Yeah, so I don't know. She had a face-to-face
Nice.
chat with somebody.
Cool. I'm trying to build a
So
relationship with her because, with the Emerald Group, I had never actually talked to her before. I was like, I felt bad that I had never reached out to her. So I've been trying to just talk to her personally too. So I'm
yeah,
worry a little bit because she seemed really nervous about the whole not knowing a lot of people, being from another country. So anyway, but she sounds like she knows, like, hey, I can build this and build connections.
yeah. She's super motivated, super motivated. Like day 2 into it, had gone through all the training and all the training that you have, and I think she's a little short on probably like looking through the coach office and trying to figure out where certain things are. So we've been working on that, especially now that she's getting ready to sign up somebody. But so there's been a couple difficulties just from the sake of, and she speaks really good English, but she's only been here for a few years. So it's just tough from that perspective, but she's got a huge Instagram following too. So I just, I told her, like, you've got to just start chatting with people and we'll go from there.
Is she work or stay home?
She is a student, a full-time student right now. So she stays at home and then she's going to school from home. Yeah. What it was. Say it again.
Does she have kids?
Yeah, she has 2.
Yes, maybe encourage her to, have you talked to her about getting into some Facebook groups and connecting with other moms in her community? Like she can do it through the Facebook group, and that's a spouse. That's sometimes what I would do.
Yeah, that's a good idea too.
Meet this friend.
Oh, wow.
And you want to go to the park? So
yeah,
that's how you have to do it these days. But it's nice that we have social media to meet people. So.
Yeah, true.
All right, cool. All right, Deanne, how was your week, girl?
It was okay. I did really, really good Monday. I think I sent out like 25 invites on Monday. And then Tuesday and Wednesday I did all my follow-ups from the Monday and the last week. And then Thursday I was going to, but then we had some stuff happen, so I didn't get as much done. So I've just kind of been responding on messages lately. So I think I had a total of like 30 invites for the week, and I think it was 5 coach invites. So
Nice.
I still hit my numbers, but I wanted to get 50 invites out this week. So tomorrow we're going to be driving for a little bit. So my goal is to send 20 invites tomorrow morning and get those done. And then yeah. But I mean, I'm at SE6 in my account and 2 in Jamie's. So I got the Summit Cash, which I was really excited about.
Oh, good. Awesome.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, I'd probably give myself like a 6 though, because I only did PD like maybe 3 days this week. I did not do my affirmations. I don't feel like I like connected with, like I'm talking to my coaches, but I don't feel like I'm doing enough. But I don't know. I did have a new coach sign up, a new coach, which is exciting. Brittany Smith, she just signed up as a coach like a month, maybe a few weeks ago, a month ago. And her sister signed up, and then her husband's going to sign up. So she should be Emerald hopefully soon.
Where's she placed at?
She's on my strong leg.
Okay. So
Yeah.
Amanda, right?
I don't know. She's on the same side. No, she's on the same side as you. Because you're my strong, right?
No, I mean like Amanda.
Oh, she's same as Amanda.
Okay, so you could have another emerald, but that's your
opposite is Jamie though.
That's your strong. I'm confused. Yes, that's a strong. Gotcha.
Jamie's my weak leg. Okay. And then Amanda and Brittany are my strong leg side.
Okay.
And then yeah, I'm working with like 3 coaches on my weak leg that have said they wanted to go Emerald, but like you were saying earlier, they say they want to do it and then they don't do it.
Yeah.
So
we're gonna do a team call at the beginning of January course on just revamping goals, for the new year. So hopefully we can get our coaches involved in that, in goal setting, and the plan for 2019. So Y'all also be thinking about what your goals are for each quarter and everything. I posted with some of you guys, we were in one of our threads, we were talking about a word of the year to kind of define what you want to focus on. So be thinking about that. That's always a cool thing to have and kind of ground you. And I think that's it. So, I wanted to ask y'all, Elizabeth, you're newer this year as well. So we've had coach training on Thinkific for a while, and I mean, there's nothing wrong with it, but I think that a disconnect sometimes is if, like, I don't know if all my coaches or all the team is actually sending that new coach checklist, which has the link to Thinkific in it. And so if they're not, then there's like a breakdown in where they're supposed to find this training at, right? Like if a new coach comes on the team and they're not getting a new coach checklist, for example, they're not going to know where the training is. Of course, there is training in back office, right? That's pretty much how I learned. But I've had this group called the Success Club Boss Babes, which was supposed to be a test that corporate wanted me to run, which they weren't really doing it. But anyway, the information's there and it is good information. So I was thinking about putting that into units in Dream Big. And so now after a new coach signs up, I still send them that new coach checklist, but then tell them, hey, the unit that your further training is in the units in Dream Big, so that everything's more in one place. I don't know. What do you guys think?
I think that's a really good idea, because I think if people can just go to Facebook and click on units and then it's all there, they don't have to like, oh, where's that link? I lost it, whatever. I think it's a great idea.
Well, and if a coach is struggling with something, it's really easy to be like, hey, did you watch that video on how to grow your network? It's in our units. You can do it. So is there anything that you guys feel is missing that we think needs to be put in there? Any missing links?
The link in the coach training?
I guess just meaning like any information that you think would be helpful that our coaches are struggling with on a continual basis. So, I'm not sure. You're muted again. Hang on.
I could think on that one.
Okay.
I think obviously the simpler that it can be to find it, because I feel like people, they start and then they're already overwhelmed because they're in like more than one group, or they're just doing more than they would have done on social media, and then they get like, it's too much. It's like, did you do it? Just click on this.
If we can eliminate extra groups and an extra place, and like we used to do team trainings in like totally different groups, and people will be like in 3, 4, 5 groups. So I think we can just put it in Dream Big. It'll be good. So yeah, and I like the stuff from corporate because it's more updated. It includes an Instagram training, and things have definitely shifted through the years. So alrighty, I'll work on that over the next week or so and get it in there. It's easy. I just have to copy and paste. It's already uploaded on YouTube. All right. Well, y'all have a good night and a good week. And we will not meet next week because I know we're all going to be probably celebrating Christmas. But keep going. Keep doing your stuff, best you can to the best of your ability. And then we'll probably just revamp and pick things back up in January as far as meetings and groups and those who want to continue on. All right.
Okay.
Okay. Bye. Thanks for being here.